Yo, 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 we are back. Goodfellas, A Will, 5. What's going on, fellas?
Chilling, man. Chilling.
Hey, you know I'm feeling good,
Hey.
baby. You know I'm feeling good. It's the NBA trade deadline, baby.
It's been a long time, man. A lot is going on.
It's heating up out here.
Yeah, man. Blockbuster trade today. Let's get right into it, man.
Right into it.
Right into it.
Right into it.
What we waiting for?
Yeah, gonna welcome my man's back, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Just came
Hey,
back
I'm
from the
here.
sunny beaches, man.
Yeah, I'm here.
He look a little rough.
It's cold.
cold, brother? You
Yes,
all
sir. I'm cold.
Well, man.
I need some heat in this motherfucker.
Hey. What was it, 80? 80 degrees?
80. Yeah. It was 80.
A Will just came back from his honeymoon, so.
Yeah, Mexico. We was living it up.
He a little bronzed right now.
Yeah, man. This time yesterday, I was having dinner on the beach. Now my head freezing.
Still sound a little drunk, too.
Life, finds a way to humble you.
All inclusive.
Man.
Woo-wee. I enjoyed it too, brother. Found a new drink too.
Oh, what was it? I need this.
Like cream tequila, cream Patron or something like that. I gotta figure out.
Coffee? Like a coffee?
Yeah,
Patron?
yeah.
Okay.
They have it like in
Okay.
have it in the clear bottles.
Respect that.
Hey, I didn't see the bottle. I just see when he brought me the little cup. I said, "Oh, okay." Tasted that. I say, "Oh, this tastes like coffee."
I can
Let
respect
me get
that.
another one of these.
Yeah.
Sound like Daniel.
Okay. I like that.
Let me get another one of these.
Okay. So, 5, how you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, baby. Yeah, you know, Lakers is out there a little bit, you know.
Good.
I can feel the hate.
It's coming back.
Oh, I can feel
It's
the
coming
hate.
back?
Oh, the hate been real good over the last couple of days.
Alright.
It's starting to feel like home, you know.
Okay.
It's starting to feel like home.
I like
I
it.
feel like the old days.
Oh man, you know how I be.
Okay.
You know how Shaq and Kobe like that. You know, dynamic duo.
Oh,
Okay.
dynamic duo.
You know.
So, while we on that, before we dive into the Lakers and the whole AD, man, blockbuster trade today. Porzingis went to the office today. What, he had a meeting?
Yeah, me.
Had a meeting. After that meeting, it was pretty much said that Porzingis was like, hey, trade me. Before that man got to the elevator, he was traded. He was traded.
You say
Before he got
pushed
to-
the button?
Lobby. Yeah, okay. Keys have been changed. He got sent. Porzingis got sent to the Mavericks, okay? In that trade, it was Porzingis, Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway, and Trey Burke.
Yes.
They go to the Mavericks in exchange for Wesley Matthews, Dennis Smith Jr., and DeAndre Jordan. And then also a likely first-round draft pick compensation in New York.
So New York is the first round?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
New York is the first round. Right now, New York is, I believe, the worst team, has the worst record in the league.
Yes.
Oh, so they're in the Zion sweepstakes right now.
Yeah, they right there.
What did you say? How much cap do they have now?
They will have $74 million in cap this summer.
This summer, right? So they made a bid in the free agent market. You got, who we got? We got KD's going to be a free agent.
Kyrie.
Kyrie's going to be a free agent. Kawhi,
Clay,
Clay,
Jimmy.
Man,
DeAndre Jordan.
yeah, he's going to be a free agent.
Yeah, they about to waive.
Yeah, they're going to waive
I
him.
mean, but he's still gonna be a free agent.
He will be.
Boogie.
Boogie's going to be a free
He's
agent.
out there. Yeah.
So,
Draymond.
man, so what do y'all think? Like, who won, who lost? I'm going to go to you first, Rob.
I think the Knicks won
Okay.
for a few reasons. The cap space obviously being the biggest. And a lot of people are going to say the cap space doesn't mean anything unless you get someone, which is 100% true. But it also gives you the flexibility to be able to plan for the year after that.
Yeah.
And you'll still be bad. Like, I think that's what a lot of people like are forgetting. Like, they're not only going to have cap space year in and year out, but they're still going to be bad, and they're still going to have high draft picks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they'll be in the Zion sweepstakes next year,
Man.
and then whoever's the best player to come out, the year after that, if they're not able to get anybody, they're going to be right in that sweepstakes too. I mean, it's a win-win battle for them, to be honest with you. But on the Mavs side, I think you kind of alluded to this a little earlier. You said, what has Porzingis done to demand a trade?
Yeah.
And you know what that tells me? That tells me that them getting him doesn't equal success. Like, it's not like, boom, we're going to be good, we're going to contend, we're going to be at this high level when Porzingis gets back. And that's another thing. Like, he's coming off an ACL injury.
Right.
He's been injury prone since the day he stepped in the NBA. Who's to say that's going to change? And with big guys, the injuries don't get better. I mean, it's not like if they keep getting injured, like, it's a bigger and bigger toll on the body. And for big guys, for some reason, it is even a bigger toll on the mind.
So what about, let me ask you this real quick before I go to you, Will. With him coming up under Dirk, because this game is kind of, similar to Dirk. With him, Dirk is on the verge of retirement. How much of a factor do you think that'll play or did play into them bringing him in, knowing he's not going to be able to play this year?
Well, obviously, Mark Cuban loves Euros.
Man.
I mean, he loves the Euros. I mean, he should. I mean, he has some pretty good ones. When you're talking about the Steve Nashes, the Dirks, he's now got Luka. Like, he's had pretty good success with them. So, I mean, I can see, you can kind of see him coming.
Right.
I just think he kind of jumped the gun on the whole injury thing, getting rid of DeAndre, who has actually been really good for them on the glass and giving them that presence. And, like, Porzingis, this ain't the East. this the West, man. Even going against it doesn't look like AD's going anywhere. Well, at least not right now. And so if he stays in the West, you got to go against AD. You got to go against Gobert. You got to go against Nurkic, Jokic. Like, there is some beast out here. Marcus Saul still in the West right now.
Marcus.
Man, there are some beasts out here. Like, and it's not going to be a cakewalk for Porzingis. I mean, I'm not saying he's not going to be able to do his thing, but it's not like okay, he gets me over the top. Like, no, not at all. And I just found out, because I didn't know, they don't have a draft pick this year.
Mm.
So their draft pick went to the Hawks in the Trae Young Luka deal.
Okay.
I had no idea that. So they're bad now, and that pick is going to go to the Hawks. So the Hawks are in a good spot right now. They're bad, and they're going to have the Mavs pick, which is going to be pretty high too. So, I mean, it could take a couple years, but Porzingis is young. I get it. He's 23. Luka's 19?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it.
They will.
I'm the opposite. From just like right now, just looking at it, I say the Mavs won, and I'm going to say the Knicks lost. And the reason I'm going to say the Knicks lost is because you traded away your most valuable asset that would have attracted a free agent to your team. Because now you look at the Knicks and there's nobody there. Like, they got Kevin Knox. So you're asking Kyrie, you're asking a Jimmy, you're asking a KD, you're asking a DeMarcus to come to a team with Kevin Knox, Alonzo Trier.
You got DSJ now, too.
Well, DSJ, they do have him, and Mitchell Robinson. Like, that's what you're asking them to come play with. None of them have proven anything. None of them. And, to try to sell, I mean, when you look at it, if I'm a free agent this summer and I'm looking at, okay, New York can sign two of us, guess what? LA can sign two as well. So do I want to go to New York and have to not go through a rebuild, but like bring these young guys up to compete every night? Or do I go and play with LeBron in LA and know that we're gonna be something? So that to me is where you go, and I understand what Five is saying where Porzingis is hurt. So, Porzingis might not be attractive to those players, but I think it's more attractive. Him being there is more attractive than him not being there. It's an easier sale, right? As far as the Mavericks, I think they won because, number one, Porzingis is young. Porzingis has shown us flashes that he can be good. I also think with them getting Tim Hardaway Jr., they don't necessarily have, they have another player. Tim Hardaway averages, I believe it's 18. Hold on, I just had it right here. He averages this year he's averaging 19.1 points a game. So he potentially can average 20 points a game for you. Luka is in that 18 to 20 range. Porzingis, we know when he was playing, he was in that 20-point range. So you have three players that can give you about 20. And they still have Harrison Barnes. Right? And then Porzingis has already said he's going to opt in or he's going to sign his qualifying offer. So you know you have him until 2020. So you don't have to necessarily worry about selling the franchise to Porzingis long term, you know, like in the next year. You don't have to worry about selling it to him. You have a year to kind of put it together, jail, and see what you can do. And I wish they would have kept DeAndre Jordan, but they can also re-sign DeAndre Jordan in the summer. So that's, you know, I just think if you look at it in that aspect, for me, I think Dallas won and New York is lost because they're wishing now, they're hoping.
Oh, that was a good point. I'm gonna have to go with Dallas. The reason I'm gonna say Dallas is because the Knicks front office is so bad. I don't know that these top tier players would want to come and play for the Knicks. Like as far as management, because I mean I like the DSJ. You know, I feel like that's an attractive piece. I like how you can, you know, they're young, but then also you gotta look at the coach, like Fizdale. Like you gotta look at the coach. Like he hasn't done anything. Like they got Kenner there just riding. Like there's no reason why Kenner shouldn't have been playing. He started him when the year first started. Then all of a sudden he went to Mitchell Robinson. Like that was just the thing to do. Made no sense. So I think, man, Dallas, you've got Luka and Porzingis, man, super young. Like you're looking at, you know, adding a couple more pieces to that. I mean, and then like you said earlier, the Knicks are going to buy out. They're going to waive Wesley Matthews and DeAndre Jordan. So I really don't see. They don't have the money to get two top tier players, but man, there's going to have to be some changes made in that front office.
So let me ask you this: even if they don't, okay, so let's say they don't make a change in the front office as a top player. So let's just use Kyrie and Jimmy because they've been the two that's been linked the longest. If you're Kyrie and Jimmy, or just from your perspective, do you see Kyrie and Jimmy saying, hey, let's go to New York, right? Let's go to New York, let's do something. Do you see them saying that with everything staying the way it is? Even if they get the number one overall pick?
No, I don't. Because if you Kyrie, I mean, you're on the Celtics right now, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be playing deep into the postseason.
Yeah.
Right? Possibly to reach the finals.
Yeah.
Do you leave that to go just team up with somebody that you don't know, like, you know, you go into a whole new system? I mean, I think if Kyrie does leave, I honestly think it'll be go back to playing with LeBron, like to where he's comfortable. If I see him leaving to go anywhere else. Jimmy, I just don't, you know. Jimmy might actually go there just to, you know, have his own team.
So who goes with Jimmy?
That's the thing.
Who does Jimmy attract to come with him?
That would be tough. Who wants to come play with Jimmy Butler?
And then, I mean, we haven't even mentioned Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
He requested to be traded, and it was said a couple of days ago that New York was trying to make a run for him. Now, I mean, to me, New York is out of their running for him. They don't like. What are you going to trade? You going to trade away Dennis Smith? You going to trade Kevin Knox? You going to trade what? Alonzo Trier?
Yeah.
And Mitchell Robinson for Anthony Davis?
I think in the past, especially in the past year and a half, you know, as much as we bash the Knicks front office, like they're constantly coming up in these players' teams to want to get traded to. Like the Knicks were a team that Jimmy wanted to get traded to. That was one of his top 3 or 4 teams. We've heard Kyrie say it. Kemba say it. That's a name that we haven't talked about yet. He's from New York.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's almost like, I almost feel like it's almost like the LA thing, right? You know, like LA went through like a stretch where they couldn't get anybody to come there. You know, everybody said nobody wants to play there anymore. Nobody cares about the big market city. And 1 year, it's just gonna be a year where two people are like, all right, we're gonna go there. We're gonna get, we're gonna attract this role player, this role player. They got this young guy, this young guy. We can do something there. Let's go ahead and do it. Like, I don't know who it's gonna be. Like, I'm not saying it's gonna be this year. I'm not saying it's gonna be next year. But like in the next 3 years, it's like somebody is gonna say like, hey, let's go there. Like, it's a big market city. It's Madison Square Garden. All right, they're gonna be on TV 30, 35 times a year.
Yeah.
Just off the strength of who they are. Let's go ahead and let's make it happen. I mean, it's gonna be like that. I mean, somebody's gonna do it. I'm not saying I don't know who it's gonna be, but it's gonna be somebody. Just like the LeBron thing. Like, I mean, I'm a Lakers fan, and I didn't think we had a shot at getting LeBron. Like, but at the same time, I know it's the Lakers. It's a chance. There's always gonna be a chance that somebody's gonna want to go there eventually. So.
And I mean, that's true. Big market cities always are going to be a trade destination or a free agency destination for players, for big market players. But I think Ray hits it on the head when he says management.
Okay.
You gotta have management behind you, and you gotta have management able to just tell you like, hey, this is our direction, this is what we're gonna do, and feel comfortable with it.
Well, the Lakers didn't make the management move. I don't think they would have attracted LeBron.
Magic Johnson.
If the Buss family was still there, I don't think it would have been a chance. But that might be something the Knicks just have to just look into. And looking at getting a big name person there, they tried it with Phil. I mean, they actually got the people that they wanted to do it with Phil. To be honest with you, I mean, they got Noah, they got Rose, they got Melo. Like, they got Melo to stay, I should say. So I mean, it actually did kind of work with Phil. It just psychologically, it just never worked. But maybe they need to go back to that. Maybe they gotta, get a old Nick guy, Patrick Ewing, maybe.
They're gonna have to do something, because don't forget that Oakley incident. Like, a lot of people are still upset about that, how they treated Oakley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so those are the same people same person still running the team right now.
Maybe Dolan needs to take a backseat.
You know what I mean? So like these big market cities, like we say, New York, and then you could even look at Chicago. Arguably, these are the two worst run teams in the NBA.
Well, the Bulls' problem is they won't get anybody. They won't get one of their old players that anybody wants to listen to. Like, they didn't give the keys to B.J. Armstrong when he was there. He's an agent now. He's like a big time agent too. Mm-hmm. I mean, they never asked Scotty to be a part of the organization. Like, of course, Mike wasn't coming back. I mean, Mike is he's bigger than the Bulls, to be honest with you. But like, sometimes you gotta get those big name people to come back to run your franchise, as the Lakers had to do with Magic and Rob Pelinka, who was an agent and a big name agent at that. So that might be something the Knicks want to look into.
So, with the trade talks, as we all know now, Anthony Davis has requested to be traded from the Pelicans. Couple of scenarios we got going on. The Pelicans, they have all the cards in their hands right now. They could wait it out, trade for him this offseason, right? Because right now, I think if they try to make a trade with Boston, they have to get rid of. It would have to be for Kyrie.
It would be with Kyrie in the deal.
So they would have to wait. The Lakers are in the discussion. The Lakers are talking about Ball, Ingram, Kuzma, and who else?
Zubac
and a first round pick for AD. Outside of Lakers and Boston, they wait. The Knicks do have a chance in free agency.
But that's a year and a half away.
Yeah. But I mean, but AD has said he won't sign any extension for any team but the Lakers.
I'm sure the Clippers will reach out to. If they haven't already, I'm sure the Clippers will reach out to.
He don't want to play in that. For that LA, he want to play for the real LA.
I fully expect Anthony Davis to be traded to the Lakers by the deadline. Fully expect it. I expect Kuz, Ingram, Ball, all to be gone.
It's the best deal, to be honest with you. Like, I know everybody keeps talking about Boston, but Rozier will be a free agent next year. Yeah. So he won't be part of the deal if they wait until July 1st, unless it's like a sign and trade type deal.
Right.
I mean, Jaylen Brown is going to only have 1 year left on his deal if they trade him next year. Like, unless they're going to include Tatum, Smart, the Grizzlies pick, their own pick. Like, unless the Pelicans are looking for actual picks,
right?
The best deal is the Lakers. To be honest with you, they got the young pieces. The guys are really young. At that. and they're gonna give him a first round pick. But the thing is, that first round pick's not probably gonna be really high. It's gonna be a low first round pick if the Lakers can be somewhat good.
Okay.
In the next 30 games or so.
I don't think the Pelicans have a choice but to trade him.
Man, I'm telling you.
They don't have a choice. I mean, it's already came out that he's probably played his last game in a Pelicans jersey, whether he's traded or not. So, I mean, just trade him.
They took him out the intro.
I mean, just trade him. But I mean, they have come out and said he's probably played his last game in the Pelicans jersey. You just trade him.
Trade him, man.
And I'm in agreement with Five. Like Boston, to me, like, so 2-3 years ago, Five was telling us like, don't sleep on Boston. AD might end up in Boston. But now that it's here and it probably will happen, I'm in agreement. Like, it doesn't make sense because if AD is saying he wants to play for a competitor, he wants to play for championships, in order for the Pelicans to pull that deal, Boston has to get rid of everybody. Like, they got to let go of Tatum and Brown. They can't keep neither one of them. They got to, I mean, if you wait till July 1st, which you have to, you don't have Rozier to put in that. Kyrie, you don't know if he's going to come back.
Just about to say that.
So, I mean, that's your team. And if you're banking on AD coming to play with Gordon Hayward and Al Horford and Marcus Smart, good luck.
And Horford's only got a year left on the deal.
Good luck. I mean, but I'm saying if you want to trade away all that for AD to come for 1 year,
Right.
good luck. Like, that to me doesn't make any sense. Now, if I'm the Lakers, I probably use that leverage, right? So I don't have to get rid of all of my young pieces. I would at least try to keep one of those 4 that you just mentioned. You know what I'm saying? I would try to keep one of them. I don't know which one. I don't know if it matters which one, but I would try to keep at least one of them. Just because if AD says he's not going to re-sign with anybody but LA, that means everybody's giving you, like, you're getting AD as a 1 year rental, right? It's come out that AD probably won't play another game in the Pelicans jersey. So, I mean, if I'm LA, I feel like I got the upper hand now. Too much has came out. I feel like I definitely got the upper hand.
So let me ask y'all this. With what the Lakers have to give up, are they giving up too much? Is AD worth all of that? And, like, where does that put the Lakers? They were able to complete this trade and get AD.
So I'm gonna say if you give up if you give up 4 of your 5 young pieces, I don't like it. I don't like that. I don't. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. And then now, again, we talked about this on the last episode. If you had, and I'm gonna say this because I said it before, if you got Bron, Ingram, Melo, AD, you know, it doesn't Rondo. That's a good 5, right? That's a solid 5. Now, if you telling me you got Rondo, Melo, Bron, AD, and Hart, and KCP, it's a solid. I mean, it's a solid 5. It's not. I think you have your night, right? If you got AD, Kuzma, Bron, Melo, and Rondo, that's a nice 5. So that's why if they keep I'm gonna be honest. If they keep Kuzma or Ingram, I'm okay with either one of them. Don't get rid of both of those pieces. You can't. You gotta find a way to keep one of them.
Whew, 5.
They learned their lesson. I mean,
Man.
it was the first thing somebody brought up was like the Lakers were in the same prediction last year
With Paul George.
with Paul George, right? Needed to trade 2 of them. They were only asking for 2 of them at this time, and didn't pull the deal. Tried to wait it out, and guess what?
Got burned.
And got burned. And
Got burned.
and they can't do this. Magic has already said, like, he's giving himself 2 more years to turn this around. He ain't playing. He ain't playing. He's pulling it. He don't care what costs. But here's the thing, though. We're talking about lineups, right? With the Mavericks deal, with the Knicks deal, you know what that's telling me? teams are looking to shred salary.
Mhm.
They're looking to trade guys, and then when you trade guys, you run into the waiver wire, right? And that's how the Miami Heat won championships.
Yeah.
All right, they grab guys who got traded, got waived, good vets who can add to that team
Yep.
and add that championship pedigree. The Lakers will have that chance. This is a 3-year project, people. I don't think people understand that. I love Kuz. I mean, you hear me talk about the Lakers. I talk more about Kuz than I talk about any of the Laker guys. But if he has to go for a 3-year project, if Magic wants to win in the next 3 years, this is not a 5 to 10 year program. Like Magic wants to get the program to a high standard and be able to walk away and be able to say, this is what I did, this is what I left you all. I brought LeBron to the city, I brought Anthony Davis to the city,
Potentially
and
Kyrie.
potentially another person, and voila, and here's the baton. You all run off with it. And he's gonna pull it. I know he is. I mean, he's talked way too much about bringing another guy to the city, and he's gonna do it at all costs. And I mean, it's coming at the cost of some good young guys. I mean, Balls was just turning the corner. Kuzma is at the corner. Ingram, he's even showed some flashes in the last month too. I mean, but they ain't Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is what, 26 years old?
Yeah, he's prime time.
Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta pull it right now, man. He's got 7 more good years, great years left. You have to pull it. I mean, and like I said, if you have to go get a Wes Matthews if he gets waived, go get a DeAndre Jordan if he gets waived. Like, that's kind of an easy sell now. That's an easy sell. All right, guys, we got the best player on the planet. We got a top 5, top 6, top 7, whatever you want to put them. We got another top 5, top 6, top 7 guy in the league on our team.
Yeah.
Come play with us. We'll put you in a position to win championships, and that's what they're gonna sell.
I'm with you on that. I actually think if they trade, I've come to the conclusion that they both
They gone.
they gone, bro. There's nothing we can do. Like they have to trade
They got to trade both of them.
Ingram and Kuz. They gotta go. So my thing is this: those two leave, that opens up a spot where Melo can be very useful.
Absolutely.
And I mean, but that's what they've talked about too. I think they've been waiting on this. They knew it was coming. They knew they were gonna have to get rid of more guys than they were gonna get back if they were gonna land any type of big deal.
Yeah. And then
And to be honest with you, like I hate to put it like this, but Charles Barkley said early on TNT, like, man, this is collusion.
it's collusion.
It's collusion. This is a collusion. And I was like, and you want to know what? He probably got something to it, actually. I mean, we know Rich Paul. Rich Paul is the insider, and LeBron's going to have some insight to it. So he's probably one of the first people who knew that AD wanted to get traded.
This is planned.
It's planned out. I mean,
It's
it
real.
is a little collusion to it. I mean, but at the same time, that's why they didn't want to get rid of Melo. That's why they didn't want to get rid of a roster spot to go get Melo.
Yeah.
They always said, we're interested, but when a roster spot opens. And if they pull this deal, a roster spot will be open.
So let me ask this. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this.
Do that.
Let's say the trade doesn't happen. No roster
I
spot.
don't like
No roster spot opens.
I don't like the energy.
I'm just giving you the other side, right? Let's say trade deadline comes and goes, it doesn't happen, no roster spot opens. At that point, do the Lakers waive a player and pick up Melo?
No, I think they roll with the punches.
Just let Melo figure out what he want to do and just try to get him next year?
I don't know if they'll be interested next year, to be honest with you. I think they're really only interested in him if they can pull in the big fish and have to fill in from there. I would just honestly think that. I mean, but at the same time, if the trade doesn't go through, like, it's just kind of a play out type deal, and you really just have to wait till the summer. But I don't know what obviously the Pelicans got to trade him at some time, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess you're willing on that July 1st date to kind of hopefully be able to still pull that in. But here's my thing too, like, the Pelicans wait, right? And say like Brown tears his ACL or something.
Yeah.
Like,
These same offers might not be on the table.
yeah, like these same offers might not be on the table. So, like what you were saying, the Lakers now can pull back a little bit.
Yeah, they got the leverage.
and they don't have to include everybody. But are they willing to wait? And I don't think they are.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think the Lakers should wait. I just think the Lakers need to play a little bit of hardball, right? Like, let me see if I'll throw out everything. Let me see what your answer is. Oh, I gotta think about it. Oh, okay. Hang up the phone. Like, y'all remember the movie Draft Day?
Yeah.
When like they was calling back and forth, and dude was like, "Oh no, that deal was off the table 5 minutes ago. This is a new deal, right?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Magic got to do that a little bit. Like, play hardball a little bit.
I feel like Magic tried to do that last year and it backfired.
No, but what I'm saying, so I still think, and this is what I think with the Paul George thing, right? I think with the Paul George thing, I think Magic was more so still in that I'm trying to open up money to be able to attract somebody. If I can get Paul George, I don't think Magic viewed Paul George as the cornerstone piece for the Lakers. I think he viewed him as a second tier player for the Lakers. Like, I think Magic might have had his eyes set on LeBron, right? As being the cornerstone piece of jumpstarting everything. And if he was like, okay, if I can get Paul George to come here for a year and do this by himself and then add Bron without really giving up these young guys just yet, or a lot of the young guys just yet, I'll do that, right? But then once I get Paul and pair him with LeBron, then we can let all these guys go. Because now we need to pull in proven veterans that can fit around them, so on and so forth. So I'm not mad at Magic for playing hardball with that because, in a sense, he was calling Paul's bluff. And Paul's bluff was, it don't matter where I'm going, I ain't re-signing, I'm going to LA. Magic said, okay, let me see. Are you really coming here? And we see that Paul was like, I'm not even giving y'all a meeting. You know what I'm saying? He didn't give him a chance to sell. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Magic for that. Now, I do think Magic is going to give everything the Pelicans ask for when it gets to the 12 o'clock hour. But I just want to play a little hardball.
Well, they said they offered him 5 different trade scenarios.
Look, pick one. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Pick a day. Which one you want? Look, get AD, get Melo, get these guys off of these waivers, and you locked and loaded for the second half of the season. And that's dangerous. And they was also talking about replacing Luke Walton.
Yeah,
Nah,
come on.
I really don't believe it.
I
But
hate that.
they talking about. Can you imagine that Luke Walton was just on the team? But didn't they Golden State won like the first 27 games with him coaching? I'm just saying. Imagine going from that to
Take one Mike Brown too.
My thing is, like,
Luke is not a bad coach, man.
I mean, my thing is though, like, why get rid of a player coach to just go get another one? I mean, that's my point. I think he thinks that Jason Kidd will do something kind of like how he did with Giannis, with LeBron, and that's just turn him loose at the point.
see.
I mean, that's been an experiment I think Magic wanted to see for the longest. Like, I think he got point guards just to make it easier for LeBron.
Please.
Let's be honest though, like, he still plays point guard. like even when ball's on the floor, like, he's the point guard. Like, the ball defers to him probably 80% of the time he's on the floor.
That's why I like Rondo, man. When Rondo's out there, you know Rondo's gonna. Because I feel like at this point in Bron's career, he don't need to be. He needs to handle the ball as less as possible.
I don't think that'll ever happen.
I think it can. With
I think you
Lakers
just had to just come to terms that it's just never gonna happen.
I think it can. I mean, if you have Rondo on your team,
I mean, to be honest with you, shit, I'd rather see him with the ball in his hands.
Who,
Not-
LeBron?
Yeah, I hate when Brian just standing in the corner.
no, I'd rather see him like. I don't feel like I just don't want to see him bringing the ball up the court all the time. I'm not saying like hit him mid post, let him post up mid post, throw it to him there.
He
Then
don't do that.
they need to do that. He getting older.
I'll be so mad. He never posts up. He never posts up now.
Yeah, that's gonna come down to coaching.
Like, we used to grit and grime about it all the time. Like, but he never posts up now. Like, ever. Everything's pick and roll.
Yeah,
On the wing. Like, I haven't seen him catch the ball in the post in a long time.
I understand that, but yeah, that's how I feel about that.
I just want to ask, don't y'all think it's ironic, though, that AD got fined for his agent saying that he's requesting a trade?
They said something about you can't like publicly, like
Yeah.
you can't come out and publicly say it. Like the agent or the player can't do it.
But isn't that what happened with Paul George? When he requested a trade from Indiana?
It was just
it
Paul
was
George
always
wants to be-
speculations. Yeah, it was always just
He
speculation.
requested a trade from Indiana.
No, I never heard him. I never heard it like square out his mouth say that he wanted to be traded. Like it's kind of like the Jimmy deal. Like when you remember when they kept asking Jimmy like, did he want to get traded? And he kept like kind of just
I just want
Just
whoever
shrugging it
wants
off.
me.
like he just kept kind of shrugging off. I think that's the thing. Like you can't come out and publicly say it. But I didn't think they came out and publicly said it though.
I don't think they did either.
I mean, I didn't see Rich Paul say anything.
Hey, look, whatever's gonna
I
happen.
just think
They say that Rich Paul like released a statement about it, but I didn't really see
Hey,
it though.
man, $50K each, right? They got fined. Hey, I'm good with that $50K, $100K,
But
man.
I just think
$100K to come to LA. That's what I like to say.
I'm just gonna say this, man. That's a I don't know. There's a way to be like, oh, Bron is doing this or Bron is doing that. Like I feel like
It's a Laker thing too.
that's just
It's a Laker
garbage.
thing too. It's a Laker thing too. I mean, nobody wants to see the Lakers win.
Deadline's coming up soon. When is deadline? The 7th? Ooh.
That's next
week.
Friday.
Thursday.
Yeah, we got a week. We got a
Thursday.
week. And Bron is back tonight.
Yeah, he ain't doing much. He got 2 points.
He got 2 points.
Are they winning though?
They won it.
All right. See, look at that. Look at God. Speaking of Bron, he is the leading All-Star vote getter. Him and Giannis, they will be picking teams next week. So we got the reserves today. I'm gonna just read off the entire All-Star list right here. So on the East, we got Giannis, we got Embiid, we got Kyrie, Kawhi, Kemba, Bradley Beal, we got Blake, Lowry, Middleton, Oladipo, who's going to be replaced by either Jimmy or D'Angelo Russell. We got Ben Simmons, and we got Vucevic, right? In the West, we got Bron, Curry, KD, Paul George, we got Harden, Aldridge, AD, Jokic, Lillard, Clay, Karl Anthony Towns, and we got Westbrook. Mercy. I'm glad they picking, because Jesus Christ. Who do y'all feel deserve? Who are your snubs? Who do you feel shouldn't be on there? Don't all speak at once.
Tobias Harris in the West was a snub for me,
Mm-hmm.
and D'Angelo Russell in the East was a snub to me.
Okay.
Nobody thought the Brooklyn Nets would be anywhere this year. It might not be all D'Angelo Russell, but D'Angelo Russell is definitely the catalyst to it.
Yeah.
And the Clippers being
Well, they falling.
but they're 2 games over 500.
Yeah.
Who would have like at one point in time the Clippers were the best team in the league. The best team out west. Yeah, they're falling, but Tobias has been balling.
Yeah. I give you that.
You can't tell me at the beginning of the year anybody thought the Clippers would be in playoff contention. After the halfway point of the season, that's another thing.
Right.
So I think those are the 2 snubs. I don't think Clay should have made it. I'm tired of seeing. I think it was either Shaq or it was either Charles that said it, and I was in complete agreement with it. Just because you got the best record or just because you have a top record doesn't mean you have multiple All-Stars. It doesn't. Because there are some players that are out, so in Brooklyn definitely has an All-Star in D'Angelo Russell, to me. Now, I'm not saying that each team gets 1 All-Star. There are some teams that have multiple All-Stars. The Golden State Warriors definitely have 2 All-Stars, to me. I can't think of another team off the top of my head that has 2 All-Stars, guaranteed All-Stars. Because to me,
The Thunder. Thunder got 2 guaranteed All-Stars.
I mean, to me, so I get what you're saying when you say that, but to me, although Russell is averaging a triple-double, it hasn't been.
Go ahead, say
It hasn't been.
Yeah.
It hasn't been as impressive as it was the past 2 years.
Still averaged a triple double.
He's
though.
still
I mean,
awesome.
come on, man.
No. I get what you. I get it. That's why I say I'm not mad at that. At you saying that 5, but to me, it's just me. Russell averaging a triple double is not as impressive as it was a year ago or even 2 years ago. To me, I'm not. But if you give them 2, okay, cool. But like out in the East, to me, Philly don't deserve 2 All-Stars.
I think they deserve 2 All-Stars.
Embiid and Simmons, they're underperforming. The Philly as a team, not them as players. I'm talking about as a team.
I mean, what, they a 4 seed right
They're
now?
third.
Yeah, 3rd seed right now. They just passed the Pacers, who was struggling, obviously, without Oladipo.
Yeah. So I mean, let's just be honest.
They're a 3 seed, though.
But they were if Depot was still playing, would they be a 3 seed?
It'll be close. I mean, what are they, like a half game ahead of them?
Yeah, game had
Yeah, I mean, they just passed them. Just because they just lost. They just dropped 2 in a row.
And again, Philly just has an All-Star, Embiid. I don't think they have 2 because
Oladipo's really having a down year. For him to make it, I definitely would take Simmons' year over Oladipo's year.
Man, out of all the reserves, man, I might take Ben like over any of these reserves, to be honest.
But if
Especially Middleton.
so let me ask. So again, now Middleton. I don't think Middleton is an All-Star.
I don't think Middleton's
Nah,
an
I don't
all-star
think-
either. I
I
mean,
don't
there's
think
people that could have got in over Middleton.
D'Angelo Russell definitely should be in the All-Star game
Yeah,
over.
over Middleton. I
Yeah.
agree. I think they just gave them the benefit of the doubt. They got the best record in the
They
league.
have the best
They
record.
got the best record in the league.
Again, I'm not. I agree.
And Toronto got 2 in.
Which they should have. They have 2 guaranteed All-Stars, too.
They got 2 in.
They have 2 guaranteed All-Stars. Lowry should be in the All-Star game.
I think Clay should have been in the All-Star game. Clay them all.
Clay held them down, too. Like, when the guys were out, too. I mean, you
I
got to
think that
remember.
you hold the team down when they
You gotta
out.
remember, Curry missed 13 games. Draymond missed 12. Like, and they still got the best record in the West.
So, before we dive into Clay, Lowry numbers really ain't that good.
He got some down numbers.
I keep telling you,
But he's
I don't
second
This
think.
year.
But he's
Some
second.
other years you said he shouldn't have made
But
it.
he's second in the league in assists, though.
He
his,
is.
His assists are up.
But I'm gonna tell you. So this is why I think Lowry made the All-Star team this year, even with his numbers being down, is because when Kawhi is out, there is really no drop off in that team. The team is actually they have they got like 2 or 3 losses without Lowry playing.
4.
Without Kawhi playing.
4.
So they got 4 losses without Kawhi playing. Like when you look at it in that aspect, absolutely Lowry deserves to be an All-Star. But again, to me, that's taken into consideration what's happening when your best player is not there. Like, is your team still winning? Yes. Okay. I'm cool with Toronto having 2 All-Stars. But if I go back to Philly, Philly was a 4 seed before Victor Oladipo went down. That's underperforming. I don't care what Simmons' numbers look like. Embiid definitely has been balling. Embiid is definitely balling. That's their All-Star. But Ben Simmons, for y'all to be people were talking about them making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, being one of the top 2 seeds in the East.
Which it still can be.
They can't. You're absolutely right. They can be. But the first half of the year, they underperform. Let's just call it what it is. They underperform. But if Boston,
3 seed, though.
where's Boston right now?
5.
They're a 5 seed.
And that's like saying Kyrie shouldn't make it.
No, Kyrie is their only player. That's the only guy making noise. That's the only guy doing anything game in, game out. Now, if Boston would have got somebody else here, oh yeah, come on, we can have an argument.
I mean, they're a 3 seed, though, behind the team with the best record in the league and the team with the 3rd best record in the league. I mean, it's not like and they're not that far behind them either. It's not like they're not reachable. How many games are they behind them?
4.5 from the top.
I mean, 4.5. I mean, that's not that bad.
You arguably looking at Giannis as a top MVP candidate, one of the top MVP candidates.
Giannis deserves it. Leonard deserves it. Lowry deserves it. I give you that. Did you start looking at these other teams?
I mean, they also got some guys that on some teams. I mean, that's like saying Blake didn't deserve it. I mean, they're on free fall right now.
He does. No, he don't.
I just can't. No, I can't. I can't sit here and let you say Kyle Lowry deserves to make it over Ben Simmons. I can't.
Why not?
Dude,
The Raptors have a winning record
Listen
when
what
Kawhi
listen
Leonard is
what I'm
not playing.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not one of the ones that advocate like, hey, your team's record is this. No, I'm looking at these numbers, bro. Looking at these all-star numbers.
When Kawhi is not playing, Lowry still gets that team to victories. whether it's scoring, whether it's defense, whether it's assisting, whatever it is, they are winning. They have lost 4 games when Kawhi Leonard has not played. 4.
That's cool.
What's the Raptors' record?
37-16.
They've lost 4 games. So they have lost 4 of those 16 games when Kawhi Leonard was not playing. That means they lost 12 games with that man. Come on.
I mean,
He definitely, listen, his numbers are down. I understand that. I'm not even a Lowry fan, but I'm going to give credit when it's due. You ain't winning games by just falling out the bed playing nobodies. He is playing up to the level he needs to when the best player on their team is not there. If they were under 500 when Kawhi wasn't playing, you got an argument. I mean, you don't have an argument out of me. I'd be like, he don't deserve it.
Well, my thing is, 3 of the guys in the reserves like wouldn't be in the playoffs today. Like if it starts today in the East, like Vooch, Beal, and Griffin. Like
Orlando?
dude,
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is averaging
Who's ready?
17, 9, and 8. He is an all-star. I don't care.
You know what's happening? Triple
That
double.
was averaging a triple-double, and we sitting there saying he shouldn't be a reserve.
Oh.
Like I'm in the mindset to it now, where like Russ is like downplayed the triple double. Like
these are all-star numbers.
like Russ, Russ has made the triple double so normal that we downplay it.
And it ain't like the third seed in the East is a bad thing when the 2 teams ahead of him are
The first and third best teams in
the
the league.
league. These are
All
all-star
the
numbers.
reserves in the East getting picked last.
And they're 33-18, to be
Dude.
honest with you. Like, they really just behind the teams in
His
the
numbers.
win column. They're not really behind them like that in the loss column.
Dude, what?
I mean, they're two losses in the loss column behind Toronto.
Dude, Benjamin Simmons can't shoot a jumper to save his life. But he deserves to be on that court.
I actually saw him shoot 2 fadeaways the other day.
Did you see his first 3-point attempt of the season?
No, I didn't.
It was from half court with the buzzer sound at the end of the quarter. And it was a brick, but it was his first one.
Hey, man.
That was not an
It was
attempt. He
his
just
first
threw
one.
it. He just threw it at the
It's a
rim.
3-point
It's a
attempt.
3-point
Going
attempt.
to the books.
It was the first one of the year.
Yeah, I like killing it.
Yeah, it's the first
Yeah,
one of the year. Who's your snub?
Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
Donovan Mitchell by far.
Oh, that's a shame.
Man, the Jazz were like they were like the 3rd worst team in the West,
Yeah.
and they're in the playoffs now,
7 seed.
and that's with Rubio out. Rubio down. Donovan Mitchell has been going absolutely nuts the last month of the year. I'm very surprised.
So who you taking off?
In the West? Oh, it was somebody. Hold on. Oh, Karl-Anthony Towns. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can get Cat out of there. Yeah, for Donovan Mitchell deserved to make it over him. Absolutely. Yeah. Cat started the year off awful too, just like Donovan Mitchell. And Cat's picked it up. Don't get me wrong, the last month and a half since they traded Jimmy, but it hasn't necessarily equaled a bunch of W's. And Mitchell has been taking that team to a new level. And then, like I said, they're in the playoffs. I didn't think they were going to make it for a little while there. Which they still might. I mean, they still might not, to be honest with you. I mean, it's that tight right now. But I think Donovan Mitchell was a big snub. I thought DeRozan was a snub too, man. I know Aldridge made it and it's shooting his best field goal percentage of the year. But man, DeRozan was going nuts the first month and a half of the year. I mean, his rebounds are up, his assists are up. I really don't know what more else he could do.
I think it's recency bias. Because I think you only could get one or the other with DeRozan and Aldridge. And I think, like you said, DeRozan started off the year hot. But within the last, month or so, he's been missing games. And Aldridge has been
Well,
going.
they've been kind of sitting them out games.
But that-
though.
yeah,
They've
that
been
too.
Just sitting them out.
And-
He ain't been missing games.
And with that being said, Aldridge has been
But
going.
he still had
crazy.
good numbers. Even
No, he
even
does.
a game Aldridge had 50,
Yeah.
DeRozan still had 25, 8 and 7.
So if you feel like DeRozan should have made it,
I feel like DeRozan should have made it over Aldridge, but now that I'm looking at it, it looks like they did this on kind of position based because each of the reserves have 3 guards, 4 forwards, and centers. That's just how it is. I guess it had to be on a position.
So do you
base.
think DeRozan should have made it on Clay?
No, he's a Warriors fan.
That's tough. That's a tough one. That's a toss up. What position right now are the Spurs? I'm a fan of winning. I mean, you got the
Spurs, they fifth.
Yeah, I would put him in over Clay.
Clay.
I would put him in over Clay. Just
Even
because
though
they're 5 seed. And they were out of the playoffs for a little while too.
That's shocking.
Yeah, I would put him in.
Even though Golden State first?
Yeah, they got 2 in already. I would put him in. To be honest with you, I know Curry was going to start anyways, but Curry kind of had a stretch where he missed a lot of games, and I was surprised, but it's Curry though. I get it. I get it's Curry. He like second in the league in scoring too, so
Yeah. He's
he was going to make it.
yeah.
Tobias was a snub.
Oh,
I thought Tobias was a snub.
okay.
I would have picked Donovan Mitchell ahead of him though, just off of just play alone. Don't get me wrong, Tobias is the best player on the team, but let's not get it twisted. Lou Will, when Lou Will come to play, Lou Will save him.
He hooped too.
When Lou Will come to play, Lou Will save him. So it's some games can be a little more Lou Will than it is him. So
That's tough. That's tough.
the West is always tough though.
Yeah.
Yeah, all they got some stubs in the West. We got A. Will over here talking about Russell Westbrook almost deserved to make it. Like, come on, man.
I didn't say he didn't.
Like,
deserve
come
it.
out of your mouth.
I didn't
That
say-
Dunkin' Donuts had you
Come on,
I
man.
didn't say
It was about to
he
come
didn't
out your
deserve
mouth.
it.
It ain't enough sun in Mexico. Come on, man.
He was definitely about to say it, bro.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, if they only got one, I wouldn't have been mad.
I thought they got the West right. Besides Cat, the Cat surprised me, but now that, like I said, I'm looking at it, it probably went on position based.
Cat gonna be on the Lakers in 2 years.
If they gonna keep feeding they all stars like that, he don't want to be. He just tired of being yelled at.
Man.
Oh, I want to talk about that a little bit too.
What's that?
So there was a video of Jimmy that came out yesterday, actually, where he's talking with a writer, and he's talking about his experience with the Bulls.
Yeah.
And that when he first got to the Bulls, right, it was Joe Kim, who else was over there? We had Rose, Taj, Dang, Bulls was there, and he said in practice that they were pretty much verbally like abusing themselves to hold themselves accountable. Be that, get your ass over here, this, do that, you fucked up.
Yeah.
And he said that was his only way of learning how to do things. All right. And then, so now he's older, right? He's in his 8th, 9th year in the league, right? Got these young guys coming in, and he expects the young guys to adapt to that type of lifestyle. And I just wanted to get at you all's, because a lot of people said it was real. I can understand it, but to me, like, it's a new generation. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the same generation. The Bulls had a bunch of guys who were kind of underrated besides Rose.
Right.
Let's be honest with you. Like, maybe Dang too. Dang's always been kind of hype, but a bunch of guys who kind of paved their way and kind of, earned their spot in the league, so they were a little more tough-minded. That wasn't the Minnesota Timberwolves. Andrew Wiggins he's been the number one, whatever he was in the nation in his high school, number one pick. He's kind of always had everything handed to him. Same thing with Karl Anthony Towns. Top 5 probably player in his class. Number one pick in the draft, kind of probably always had everything handed to him. And one of the things that I also did, I didn't hear any of these complaints from KG when he was there for that year about Cat. So why now is it a problem with Jimmy when KG is just as fiery, just as, into it as anybody ever comes? So do you think that's like real leadership, or do you think that's failure of leadership, to be honest with you? And he's kind of having the same issues with Philly too. When he first got there, he butted some heads with them.
I don't know if people are looking at him as that leader, though, as that guy to go to. I don't think what he's doing is wrong. Number one, you got to build that culture, though. See, when he came to Chicago, that culture was already built. Them guys have been playing with each other, so they knew what to expect. They knew how to hold each other accountable. When you bouncing from these teams like this, and you the new guy on the block, you can't really go in there saying, like, the way he's going in, like he's trying to hold people accountable. If that's not their culture, they're going to take it as, I'm going to take it as disrespect. You know what I mean? So I think that's how it's coming off as more confrontational, especially like you said with these younger guys who are, they take everything to heart. They don't know how to take constructive criticism. So I think from that aspect, I don't think he's doing anything wrong, but they're not looking at him like, dude, you know, like you said, KG was there. KG's a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? He's won an NBA championship. They're not looking at Jimmy like that. It's like, dude, who are you? What have you done? You getting traded. Like, what have you done? So I think Jimmy has to find a team with that culture that he had in Chicago, if that's all he's used to. And those guys have been playing with each other for a while. They've been to the playoffs together. Until I feel like he finds that, it's always going to come off like that. That's how I feel.
Before I get started. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Kobe come out and say something about like if they recorded me at practice or asked how my practice was, like he was 10 times worse than Jimmy in practice?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back to what you said, Five. It's a new day and age, and these athletes now, they spoil, they are entitled, and they soft. They don't want to hear the truth. They used to having people give them everything, tell them they're the best, tell them they're doing good, tell them there's nothing wrong, oh, everything is fine. No, that's not winning. Now, if you have an issue with Jimmy doing it because Jimmy's never won a championship, and you can turn around and say, well, this way ain't work because you ain't win, that's one thing. But to just write them off because you ain't used to it or you don't want to hear it, that's on you. That's entitled. Like, that's how I feel. And we've all played sports, and yeah, we're older, you know, not by much, but we're older than some of these guys that we're talking about, like Ben, Joel, Cat, Wiggins. We're older than them, but you know, we didn't go to practice and might have been the best at our position or the best at what we did, and went to practice and was just like, oh, I can do what I want to do. Or no, people got in us. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was our teammates, whether it was coaches, whether it was other coaches, whether it was other players, like somebody got into us. Period. And we took it. You know what I'm saying? We probably was upset about it. We probably was mad. You know what I'm saying? Had a few words back and forth. Probably said something under our breath or whatever. But we took it and we got better. And to me, like, I don't have a problem. So I didn't see the video, but I don't have a problem with Jimmy doing that. I don't have a problem with Jimmy demanding or doing what was showed to him. That's all he's doing. He's doing what was showed to him. Now, you use KG and say KG didn't say anything about Cat, but KG was on his way out the league. And I'm not saying KG got soft or, you know, got less vocal on his way out the door, but he was asked to do a different role.
More of a mentor role.
Yeah. When you're a mentor, you're trying to like find out who that person is. You're trying to like find what makes them tick, what makes them go. When you're a player and all you know is winning, I want to win, I'm trying to win, you ain't thinking about mentoring nobody. You don't care about what make them tick, no, y'all butting heads. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear from me, and you gonna take it or not. And I agree with that. I ain't saying it's right, but I mean I agree with it. But I do think it's right. You know what I'm saying? It's right. Jimmy ain't did nothing wrong. He ain't doing nothing wrong. But he's going to be cast as
Get a
that.
bad rep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But he's going to get that bad rep because we are now in a day and age where, let's just be real, all these athletes are entitled in a way. They just want everything to be cool.
Yeah, I just want to say.
Yeah. And as far as snubs, as far as I see it, Middleton should not be anywhere on this Eastern Conference All-Star team. I'm not sorry.
Who would you put over him?
D'Angelo Russell.
He's gonna get in.
Yeah, he's going to get in, but I'm off the first rip. It should be Russell.
So who else?
I would put Jimmy in.
You put Jimmy in over Middleton?
Middleton, like.
I would like to see Jimmy numbers like just
With
with
Philly.
yeah.
But yeah, Middleton to me, nah, I can't go. On the West, man, that's tough. I would have liked to see DeRozan. I wouldn't have minded 2 Spurs making it.
Who you taking on?
I would take off Clay.
I think the West has these snubs. There's so many players.
It's just so many players. I would take off Clay. DeRozan's got to do more for his team. Got to do way more for his team. And nobody thought he could pass the ball the way he's been passing the ball. He's got to do more. So I will hold that. That holds more weight to me than Clay's numbers. We know what it is with the Warriors. We know what Clay's gonna come out there and do. He does it, but I would have went with DeRozan.
Man, that's crazy because Middleton numbers actually were better last year than they were this year, and he wasn't even in the conversation last year. And they were like way better too. He averaged 25 and 4 last year. He's averaging 17, 6 and 4.
I'll show you what a number 1 seed to do.
He averaged 25 and 4 last year.
Yep, and wasn't even in the conversation.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. To me, you can't reward the best teams with multiple All-Stars.
I'm also glad Denver only got 1 player in. I was gonna lose my mind if they
I
got
want to
somebody
bet.
else.
What I mean, who was Jamal Murray gonna get in over?
That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing, though. Like Russ, Dame, like
Do they got the number 1 seed in the
I think they're
West?
number 2.
number
Is it
2
one?
now. Nah, number 2 now.
Number 2? Man.
I mean, unless he got it in over Clay. I mean, Clay, DeRozan, Mitchell. I can't see him getting in over any of those people.
Man. So we're gonna take it right now. We're gonna take it to some Go Talk. Now the Go Talk this week is being brought to you by the man behind the camera. Alright? Booth. What you got for us?
I'm going with 2 coaches.
Got 2 coaches, okay.
NFL.
Oh.
Don't be too hard for you fellas. Keep it simple.
NFL.
Keep your minds
NFL
like
coach?
Oh!
NFL coach. Keep your minds like they current coaches to give you a hand.
Okay.
Keep it simple for you.
One of them.
Coach A.
We're going with Bill.
One of them not gonna be Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
No,
That's too obvious.
That's too obvious.
Hey.
Coach A winning record 125 wins, 66 losses, 1 tie regular season. 8-7 in the playoffs, 1 time Super Bowl champ, 1 time AFC champ.
It's Tomlin.
Coach B 118-74 regular season, 86 in the playoffs, 1 time Super Bowl champ.
Say B again.
118-74 in the regular season, 8-6 in the playoffs, 1 time Super Bowl champ.
8-6 in the playoffs. That's hardball. That's John Harbaugh. No.
1 time
That's
Super Bowl
McCarthy?
champ.
Super Bowl champ. The first one was
Peyton?
Tomlin.
No, that's Sean Payton.
Sean
The first one was Tomlin.
Peyton, right?
Sean Payton.
Second one's Peyton,
Sean
first
Payton.
one's Tom. First one was Tom. Coach A. Tom.
Tomlin and Peyton.
Oh,
Black History Month coming up. Going Tomlin.
you got
It's tomorrow.
I'm going Tomlin.
Start tomorrow.
Start the ball.
Let me stop with it.
Oh.
I'm gonna go Peyton, man. I feel like Peyton's never lost control of his locker room.
He got suspended.
Huh?
He got suspended.
He did, didn't he?
That's the ultimate law.
You can't lose control if you ain't there.
That's been a
That's
whole
what-
year too, right?
that's
what-
Yeah. It's been for a whole year, right?
Yeah, Alabama.
I forgot about that. When he got suspended,
They was doing the bounty. They were doing the bounty hunting thing.
That's bounty gate. You can't forget that.
I'm going to.
I gotta see a couple of these records because I feel like the Saints had some down years.
They had a lot of down years.
Tomlin's been way more consistent.
Yeah, way more.
I'm gonna go
consistent.
Tomlin.
And I feel like Tomlin's like,
I'm gonna
and
go
I feel like Tomlin's like one and like different like type of like they've won with defense and then they've also won with their offense too as well. Like I feel like they've won a couple different ways.
When did they win with defense?
Like just winning seasons. Like they've had good defenses. The Steelers have had good defenses.
Palomalu.
Yeah, they've had good. Harrison, like, come on, man, they had great years when they were great defensive teams. Actually,
Yeah, but they still had the offense.
I don't even know who they had Bettis. Yeah,
They had Bettis. They had Santonio Holmes. They had Plaxico Burress.
Yep.
Like they had offense. They never like really lacked offensively, even when they had good defense. Their defense is just so bad now
Yeah, I mean
that the offense has to do more. But
win.
the offense always held its own.
Peyton missing a year, bro. That's like
I think Tomlin had the benefit though of better players. Like the Saints outside of their only one true consistent has been Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they haven't had anybody consistent.
Man, they had 3 years in a row where they went 7-9.
Who? Saints?
The Saints.
Yeah, but look at the roster. Look at that roster. For them to go 7-9,
That was just like 2 years ago, 2016.
but look at the roster. Michael Thomas. This what his third or fourth year. This Kamara's second year.
Yeah, he beast.
Ingram might have been there the year 2000. What'd you say? 16?
He was there in 16.
I'm gonna go with Tom.
They had Coleman, Cooks.
He ain't missed a year.
I forgot they had Michael Thomas. They had Willie Snead. They had Fleener on this team.
And they went 7-9.
7-9. They should have been better than that. They had talent on the offensive side of the ball.
I'm gonna go Tomlin. Go Tomlin.
Go Mike Tomlin. Hold on, I can see him too.
Black History Month.
Is this the first year he's had a down year? I feel like it's been another year where they haven't made the playoffs too.
They made playoffs last year, didn't
Nah, they made it last year.
Yeah, they made it last year.
They won and done.
How many Super Bowl championships you said Tomlin had?
One.
they? Got one.
They both got one.
Had 2 championships.
Who? Tomlin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did when they won the one against the Seahawks,
Yeah.
and then they won one against the
Yeah,
Cardinals.
he got two.
Yeah, they got 2.
He was the coach both of them?
Yeah.
Was he the one with the coach with the Seahawks?
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks.
He's got 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, I'm gonna go Tomlin. Yeah, I'm gonna go Tomlin. Just off the strength of that right there. That just
Hey, Will.
that just kind of solidified it.
The
for
fact
me.
check. Hey, Will, what you got over there, man? What you looking at? Pondering.
Also never had a losing record. Never had a losing record.
Way more consistent.
He was 8-8 twice.
Bro, he never missed a season.
Come on, you gonna keep bringing that
Yeah,
up?
right.
I mean, that's not. I mean, I'm sure there was more teams doing the bounty hunting. Come on, man. You know that.
Oh man.
He just got caught.
Yeah, man. That ain't my problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tomlin. He hasn't had a season where he's been under 500. One, two, three, 4 seasons of over 12 wins. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna go with the black guy on this one.
Hey, Will, man, you struggling over there, man.
Yeah,
Because a part of me wants to just say Sean Payton.
Just say it.
that part of you was wrong.
Yeah,
Say
you-
Mike Tomlin, man. Come on, man.
I don't want. The only reason I don't want to say Tomlin is because I feel like he's benefited from more talent. He's had Pittsburgh has had consistent talent on both sides of the ball. Like I said, even now their defense is that bad, but their offensive talent is that good. And I don't know if it's necessarily him that's doing that, or if it's just if he's. I don't know if Tomlin is a benefit of talent or if he's a good coach. I think Sean Payton is probably more a good coach that doesn't have some of that talent that Tomlin has been blessed with. Like Tomlin has never had like a season where it was just Ben Roethlisberger on the offensive side of the ball, and they still won double-digit games.
And I lied. He does only have one. His second one was the assistant coach with the Bucks.
Oh,
Tomlin.
okay.
He does only have one. His second was assistant coach.
So I mean, how would you rate like Peyton this year with all the talent they had on offense? And
I mean,
how many?
look at their record though.
No, I'm saying like come like playoffs.
Well, I mean, we know why they. We know why they not.
I mean, not even that though. But I mean, their offense struggled the last part of the season, going into the playoffs.
I'll give you that.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
Mightily.
But I mean, let's look at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh offense struggled as well. They weren't putting up massive numbers. They weren't blowing. They were grossly inconsistent.
Yeah.
They show up one week against a good team, the next week against a bad team. They
Losing one of the best.
wet the bed.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have one of the best running backs. In the
So
league.
again, is he a good coach or was that a benefit of talent?
They still were 9-6 though.
what
9-6-1.
So again, is he a good coach or is that a benefit of talent? Is that a benefit of talent? Like, because again, like for you to go,
I mean, he had Connor playing really well.
They still won 9 games though. They won 9 games, missing
And
one
they
of the
still-
best guys
and
on
they
their team.
and they still got Juju, Juju outplayed Antonio Brown. Like a lot of people don't even know that. Juju had more receptions, had more yards, and probably more touchdowns than Antonio Brown this year. That's talent, right? They still had Antonio Brown. Now I get you saying you could use James Conner, but James Conner, he was playing well when he got hurt. His replacement came in and played well. So is that a benefit of the receivers that they have along with the quarterback, or is that Mike Tomlin doing a great job of coaching? That's my question.
I'm gonna put that on Mike Tomlin.
I'm not. I'm not.
Anytime you can plug a guy in and they can succeed, that has something to do with it.
So let me ask this: the running back for the Chiefs that played when Hunt got suspended, is that Andy Reid or is that the system that they were in?
The system has something to do with Andy
Come
Reid,
on.
though.
No, I'm saying,
Is that the talent? Is that the no?
It's just like Bill Belichick.
But what I'm saying is
It's
that
just
the
like Bill
talent.
Belichick.
Is that the talent around them, or is that coaching? Is that the talent around? Look at what Kansas City had: Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. Is that it? Can I take any running back and plug them into that system, and they shine the way they shine because you have so many weapons on the offensive side that you have to worry about?
Not all the time, because when they plugged in Ware, he was ineffective in
Ware
many
was
games.
terrible.
In many games. Like it's
This year?
Yeah,
Yeah, this year and last year.
that's why he wasn't getting a lot of burn.
That's why they gave Williams the
The
keys.
one game Ware played after Hunt got suspended, he had a good game.
That was it.
That's all they needed.
Oh, so one game.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
That was all they needed.
They
He was
gave
supposed to
Williams.
be he was supposed to be next up.
Yeah, they gave Williams the key.
Right after
Because
that,
of
he
that.
lost it. And
It's
then I
just
think
like Bill Belichick, just like the Patriots. Like they can plug in different running backs and be successful.
That's
That
not
is-
true.
That's
not true.
That is a coach. I mean, they've done it
That-
multiple times though.
Who?
The Patriots.
Please name me 5 running backs. Name me 2 running backs they plugged in and still and have done good.
They had 2 running backs this year.
Yeah, James White has been there.
Burkhead was good before he got hurt.
Burkhead is boo boo.
He was good before he got hurt.
Boo boo. He was never good. That boy is boo boo.
didn't he get the game winning touchdown?
That don't mean nothing. He boo. That boy boo boo. Burkhead is boo boo. I wish they would get rid of Burkhead.
They've had
Who?
success with.
Oh,
plenty.
please name me a running back. Please.
Corey Dillon.
Corey Dillon was a monster before he got there. Corey Dillon was good. Corey Dillon wasn't no slouch.
No, I'm saying though, like they.
Corey Dillon wasn't no slouch.
What he's saying is New England has
Done
more
it
so than
multiple
not. They've
times.
been able to plug in.
You
different
just
ways.
gave me Corey Dillon, who was
I was
a
just
monster
I was
in
just naming- I
Cincinnati.
was naming running backs. That don't mean they're gonna be effective anywhere else. Was the Patriots the only other team he played for?
Corey Dillon,
Yeah.
besides the Bengals, that's
Yeah.
all I know. The Bengals and the
I
Patriots.
think he might have played for another team. That's what I'm saying though. The Patriots have always been able to plug people in. I mean, more times than not. I'm not saying that
They
always
have not been able to plug people in more times than not. That's
As
the
far as
biggest.
the running back.
That's
They
the
just had
biggest knock on
I
him.
mean, they just had Michelle look like
Michelle is a rookie,
and
and he's a
great.
very good running back.
And he looked great. You think he could have had any type of season like that with any other team?
Possibly yes. Sonny Michelle was good in Georgia. You gotta Sonny Michelle was good in Georgia. He didn't get drafted in the first round for no reason.
But let's not.
Like, that's not a slouch. And if anything, I'm gonna say the Patriots have an underrated offensive line. If you want to give credit to somebody, but again, yes, but you ain't just plug. The Patriots can't just take a running back off the street and plug him into their offense, and he gonna run for 100 yards, or he gonna have 1,000 yards. No, the Patriots run through running backs like, well, they was burning through running backs
They
because
burn through them and they still go to the Super Bowl.
because they have.
That's my point.
You got to look at the weapons around them. Them running backs wasn't necessarily having great years. I
I'm
remember
not saying they're like all pro running backs. What I'm saying is they're effective.
because so again, is that the players around them or is that coaching? If
Coaching.
you got Tom Brady,
Coaching.
if you got Tom Brady,
I'm giving
if you
double
got
check.
Wells, think about it. If you got Tom Brady, Wes Welker, at one point they had Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski. It didn't matter who you were putting out there because you couldn't cover both tight ends and you couldn't cover Welker. Think about it. At a point in time, they had Gronk, they had Randy, they had Wes and Tom. It didn't matter who you had playing running back because you had all these other pieces that you had to worry about. That's what I'm trying to say to y'all.
Well, I mean,
It's not you.
look at LeGarrette Blount.
Okay.
He was with the Patriots, then he was with the Steelers. Where did he end up that year? Back in New England, playing very well. He
But
played terrible.
He didn't
He
know.
was terrible this year for the Lions.
He didn't. But so I'm gonna go to the year that he had when he was in New England, left New England, went to Pittsburgh, left Pittsburgh and went back to New England. He wasn't necessarily having a bad year in Pittsburgh. He wasn't showing up to practice, and he hated his role in Pittsburgh. So he asked to be released. They released him, and he went to New England. That had nothing to do with his production and everything to do with his role and who he was as a person.
And who does that?
Who
Coaching.
does what?
Coaching.
They wasn't able to plug him in Pittsburgh, bro. You just said he didn't like
The man.
bro. You said he didn't like his role. If I don't like my role, that's a coach.
Wait, hold on. And that year he got suspended for smoking weed with Le'Veon.
Hey man, I ain't trying to hit that.
Oh, man.
It's coaching.
That's not okay.
I mean, look at the Lions. Look at this shit with the Lions.
You just gave your own damn
Doing
answer,
nothing.
man.
You
Come
nothing
on.
this
Now,
year.
I'm not saying LeGarrette Blount was I told one of my friends who's a Lions fan I didn't like LeGarrette Blount, but again, I'm telling y'all, it's easier to play certain positions. It's easier to do certain things and look good when you got the talent around you. You got a great when you have a great quarterback, a good quarterback, a good wide receiver, that's a threat. You have a good tight end, that's a threat. And anybody can come play running back. Anybody. Like, brother, you decided that's like saying, oh, perfect example, it just popped in my head. Is CJ Anderson a benefit of coaching or the system and the players around him?
When you say the system, I feel like that and coaching goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like, don't the coaches have to have a system put in place?
Okay, so is it the players? Is it the players that's around him or is that coaching? Is it the players?
I'm gonna say coaching because the players around them weren't even playing that good.
Ty Gurley has just been running like garbage.
Yeah.
The last,
So Robert Woods ain't having a career year. Brandon Cooks ain't got another
no,
1,000 yards.
what I'm
season?
saying is, previously, prior to him coming in with having those great games, Gurley was doing a bunch of nothing. He had fell out of our MVP conversation with
He
them
fell
saying,
out of y'all.
but I'm saying he had fell off. He
He
was
should have fell off of yours too.
exactly. He wasn't doing nothing. So here comes C.J. Anderson with the same talent, same everything, and he's able to run for all these yards.
But what I'm saying is it easier to run the ball when you have? Is it not easier to run the ball when you don't have to face an 8-man front? Yes or no? When you're not facing a crowded front, is it easier to run the ball?
I mean, having talent helps, absolutely. Absolutely. But you still
So
even if
does
you have
not
the guys on
having-
the outside, though, it still doesn't mean that the ball is going to get to where it needs to go. It just doesn't. It's all about schemes. It's all about it's just all about schemes. You talk about schemes all the time. That's all you talk about. It is the scheme. It is the scheme. It is the
Because of
scheme.
the
That's
players.
coaching.
But it's the players. You have to have the players to be able to run that scheme. Tomlin ain't that great of a coach.
Who you picking?
Payton.
Thank you.
I'm picking Payton because Tomlin ain't that good of a coach. Because
He was
Tomlin
Payton.
has benefited from having Big Ben. He's benefited from having Santonio Holmes.
There's been times where Ben has been hurt though, and I remember games I've watched Charlie Batch as their quarterback, and they've gotten huge wins. So
and Tomlin, I don't even know if Tomlin was the coach when they had Charlie Batch.
Ben has been hurt before, and they've had to go to their backup.
And when Ben has been hurt and they went to their backup, they wasn't winning no games. Just like what happened this year when they was playing the Browns and Ben got hurt and they put Landry Jones out there and Ben did something to his ribs. They had to bring that man back to win the game. Cause Landry Jones couldn't complete a pass.
Yeah, I mean, pretty
He
bad.
couldn't complete. Now is that coaching or is that just a player? That's coaching. That's coaching. That's the player. That has nothing. Because Landry Jones, he calling the same plays. He calling the plays that he's comfortable with. They got the same players. All that. That's a player that cannot produce. And so the coach had to make a decision. Hey man, we got to win this game. We need our guy. And the guy came in and did what he does all the time. Big Ben. That's me giving credit to Big Ben, which I'm always going to do. Tomlin is a benefit of the players that he has around him. You put Tomlin in
You can say that with a lot of coaches, though.
absolutely. You can. You definitely can. But I think Sean Payton has done more with less. The most consistent player he's had is Drew Brees.
That's a pretty great, consistent player to have.
It is. But Drew Brees hasn't always had the talent around him that some of these other quarterbacks have had.
And Breeze makes your job a whole hell of a lot easier too. He's a coach on the floor himself, on the field himself. You don't have to do much coaching when you got Breeze on the backfield.
You gotta have them players, man. I'm just saying. You got a system. You gotta have the players that fit your system.
I'm still coaching, all right? If you have a system,
We don't need coaches. We don't need coaches, Ray.
if you have a system,
Ray, they can stay at home. Ray, they can stay at home. If you got the players, you don't need coaches.
Peyton Manning. Hey, listen. Peyton Manning made a lot of coaches look good. Peyton Manning made a lot of coaches look good.
That is
a lot of offense
That is
coordinators.
a rarity.
I'm just saying. Peyton Manning made a lot of coaches look good.
Just like Drew
A
Brees.
lot of them.
That's a rarity.
Just like Drew Brees.
Brees. Ooh,
Making his coach look real good.
he is.
That's rare, though.
Tom Brady make a lot of people look good. A lot of offense coordinators. A lot of them. A lot of them. So do Big Ben.
So you saying Belichick should just stay in the
No,
hotel?
no. Belichick is a defensive guy. Belichick is defense. All them off. Look at this. Look at the offense coordinators. Ask yourself who's been the Patriots' offensive
I
coordinator.
mean, they switch them, but I'm just saying, though, like, it's always.
And listen, what all of them get? A job.
Yeah.
And what happens when they get a different job? They ain't got that player. They ain't got number 12, and it don't work out for them.
Still,
Ask Bill O'Brien. Ask Charlie Weiss.
hey, but you
Ask
still
Josh
have to
McDaniels.
have a system.
Ask Josh
You still
McDaniels.
have to have a system.
You do, but it's players. Players make your system look great. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Players make a system look great.
Depends.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Depends on how great the player
But
is.
LeGarrette Blount, hey man, they plugged him right back in. You hear me?
He ain't got money.
Hey, they didn't waste no time. Like, he was in Pittsburgh. Even when he played in Pittsburgh, the games he played, he was booty juice. He was terrible.
I don't know.
He was terrible. Go look at his numbers.
Yeah,
He went to New England. And it was like a new running back. Plug him in. New England can plug players in that you write off anywhere else. If you had to go to any team in the league right now to give
You asking me where I want to go?
no, any player in the league to give a second chance, like, man, like, I'm struggling. A lot of them gonna say go play with New England.
And it's no coincidence
Only
that
play that didn't work for was
that he just started going back to practice as soon as he got back.
Yeah,
He
he
just
was-
started-
He ain't fit well in
Oh, it didn't work for a lot of players that came to New England.
I mean, there's a few players that didn't, but it's rare. More.
Oh no, it's more.
And the players
nah,
that it didn't work is the players that don't buy into the coaching.
It's
I mean,
Yeah, that don't make
it's
them less
more
of a coach.
It's more non-success stories in New England than success stories. They talk about that all the time. when they get
Non-success stories,
players.
making players.
Yes. Brandon Lloyd was considered not a success. Brandon Cooks was considered not a success.
It was in the Super Bowl with the winner.
That doesn't mean that's a success story.
He wasn't terrible.
He wasn't the world beater.
He wasn't terrible.
He wasn't the world beater. He wasn't what they wanted him to be. That's why they got.
They got rid of him.
Why do you think they got rid of him?
He wasn't terrible. Like Ocho Cinco was terrible.
Why do you think they got rid of
Right.
Brandon Cooks?
He was terrible.
Why do you think they got rid of Brandon Cooks? That was their quote only deep threat.
They don't like to pay people either, though.
Hmm.
They real cheap.
I mean, look right now. He's back in the Super Bowl.
They don't like to pay people.
I mean, it wasn't like he was like a bum.
Look at his numbers last year compared to this year. Tell me which ones are better.
I mean, probably this year. I mean, what does that make Goff a better quarterback than Brady or something? I mean, he just had.
Never mind.
I wouldn't say it was a bust though.
Why do you think Bill got rid of him?
Man, he got 1,000 receiver yards.
I ain't saying
about?
he didn't. I'm not. Y'all not listening to what I'm saying.
That's not saying
Y'all
that don't
not
work, bro.
listening to
That's
what
not-
I'm saying.
1,000 yards
Y'all not listening to what I'm
Bro,
saying.
I can't. When I say
Oh my
it's not
God.
working, bro. I mean, he out there. He was not out there bad with New England. Like I get what you trying to say, but he wasn't out there bad.
What I'm trying to say. Tell me what I'm trying to say.
Bro, he's
Yeah,
doing
it's
better
a
this
career-
year. He didn't
Yeah,
fit
it's
in
a
the way
career
I
high
thought he would.
17 yards per catch with New England.
Tell me what I'm
Come
trying
on,
to say.
man.
Tell me what I'm trying to say. Come on, tell me what I'm trying to say.
You trying to say that Brandon Cooks like didn't fit what they was trying to do? They thought he would be better than he was,
Absolutely.
but then he wasn't a bust though.
Having 1,000 yards
On
is
65 catches.
not what they asked him to do. That's not. They wanted him to be able to stretch the field.
And he
Okay.
did. He had
not-
17 yards
Again,
per
you
catch.
looking at stats. You gotta watch the game.
That
watched the game.
That to me don't equate that him not being a success.
Why did they get rid of him? Tell me why they got rid of him. If he averages 17 yards a game, 17 yards a catch, he had 1,000 yards and he had 7 touchdowns. Why do you think they got rid
I
of him?
don't know, man.
Because he wasn't what they wanted him to be. Y'all are looking at numbers.
I didn't even say nothing about
Bro,
bro.
listen to what I'm saying. You cannot look at numbers and as a guy who watches all of New England. You cannot look at numbers and say, "Oh, this man had X amount of yards. He had this many touchdowns. This was his yards per catch. All of that. You can't do that. They don't have one trick ponies. They don't. So I'm telling you, you cannot look at New England and say this man came over here and had 1,000 yards.
But you just
That's
told us they got him to stretch the field. You didn't
But
say they got him to do anything else.
He was not the deep threat that they wanted him to be. He was not the deep threat that they
I
wanted
wouldn't
him to be.
equate that to
They
being
didn't get rid of him for no reason.
I wouldn't equate that to being a buzz though.
Yeah, he wasn't a bust.
I'm not saying he was a bust.
Well, what you said
That's
success
not what I'm
story.
saying. He was not a New England success story. He was not one of those like Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, they will bring Josh Gordon gets reinstated. He's coming back to New England.
Mhm.
Why? Because Josh Gordon was doing what they wanted him to do.
Yeah, he was talking.
He was having a damn good year. He was doing with New England what they wanted him to do.
Right.
Play multiple positions, do multiple things on the field, stretch the field, short routes, intermediate routes, all of that. Josh was able to do all of that.
What I'm saying is that
Come
Ocho
on.
Cinco is not a success story.
I'm not arguing that.
So what
you
I'm
keep
saying is
going back to
when I-
Ocho
when I say-
Cinco,
when I
but
say
I'm
y'all
giving you a
influence-
player that y'all will tell me had a great year in New England, and he got let go. He got traded.
Yeah.
He got traded.
That happens a lot.
He got traded.
That happens a lot though. When people have good years, like people get traded. Like you act like that doesn't happen.
Last year was a good year for Cooks. Wasn't up to what New England thought. What
That's
they
all
wanted
I'm
to do.
saying.
But that doesn't
That's
mean
all I'm
that
saying.
don't mean he wasn't a. That doesn't.
He wasn't a New England success story. That's all I keep saying. You keep trying to tell me about that don't mean he wasn't a New England success story. So I keep telling
I
y'all,
can't say
New
that
England
because
has
they was in the Super Bowl with a chance to win.
Bro,
With him.
they in the Super Bowl without
They
him.
linked on Randy Moss.
No, they
Come on, man. Come on, man. They linked on
Randy
Randy
Moss wasn't a
Moss.
success story.
he was. That was their best success
He
story.
wasn't. They let him go.
But what did Randy do after they let him go?
I don't know what did that mean.
Belichick gonna let go of you before you let go of him. He gonna let go of
What
you.
I'm saying though, like it's more stories of players. Like how many players can you say that's like been there? It's like yo, he's like terrible in New England. Like he's
on what side of the ball? Offense or defense? You want me to
let's do offense.
Okay.
Like you wouldn't say Cooks was terrible. No way.
Man, nah.
No
I'm
way.
not gonna say it was terrible, but he didn't do it.
No, you're not gonna. When I say a bad six, I mean talking about they came to New England, they was terrible.
But the only
What the hell did you expect from him? You expect them to get 1,500 yards receiving? That's what you expected?
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
double digit touchdown.
Come on, man.
When you get 1,000 yards, you get 1,000 yards. You get 100 catches. Think about this. You get 100 catches and 1,000 yards out of Julian Edelman that plays slot, and Julian didn't play last year, but Julian probably gives you more touchdowns than Brandon Cooks, and he's not even a deep threat.
Brandon Cooks
He's not
hasn't
even
had
a
double-digit
threat.
touchdowns his entire career.
He's not even a deep threat. Listen to that. Listen to that.
He hasn't had double-digit touchdowns.
Julian
his entire
Edelman
career.
ain't even a deep threat, and he gives you 1,000 yards. He gives you 100 catches and 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he's also.
Danny Amendola stuck around the team longer than Brandon Cooks, and Danny Amendola was clutch. He made catches when you needed them. He made all the clutch catches Danny Amendola made.
Brady
All of
also always loved his slot receivers. Always. Every single one of them. Which one? Name me a slot receiver that Brady ain't loved.
He only had 3.
And he go to him whenever they need him.
Because Brady,
He go to him every single time.
Brady actually loves his tight ends and his
Yeah, tight ends too.
and
Tight
his
ends too.
and when he had an outside threat, he loved them too. Deion Branch wasn't a slot receiver. He loved the hell out of Deion Branch. Deion Branch was a Super Bowl MVP.
Man, when he needed a throw, he was throwing to the slot guy. Whether it was Welker, whether it was Edelman, whether it's Amendola.
Y'all
He
just know
loved
the last couple.
He
That's
loves those. He's loved them. He lived off of it.
Deion Branch ain't playing the slot. When Deion Branch was with Troy Brown, who you think got the ball more? Deion Branch or Troy Brown?
All I know
Deion Branch.
is they got more. And I haven't seen anybody go to New England on the offensive side of the ball that was like, yo, like, they just, outside of Chad Ochocinco.
You looking at stats.
I'm not even looking at stats, bro. I'm just looking at, you keep saying like
that. I'm looking at stats.
I'm
That's
looking at,
all I'm looking at.
I'm not looking at like, man,
telling me he won
he's
the
really,
success story.
I can't look at it like, man, he's really playing bad for them. Like, he just don't fit.
Do y'all think Bill Belichick would get rid of Brandon Cooks if he really thought he was a difference maker?
So
Got rid of Randy Moss, man.
let me ask
After
you
they
this.
had him for how
let me
many
ask you this.
how
Let
many
me
years
ask you
they
this.
had Randy? 3?
He did try to get rid of Gronk.
To the Lions.
He was trying to get
So let me ask you this.
And what Gronk doing this year?
he
What Gronk doing
Ron
this
just
year?
helped them win that last game.
blocked. He playing.
What Gronk doing this year?
He had the best season.
Okay.
But they
Okay.
he just helped
Okay.
them win last game.
Brady, he did. That's one game.
Just helped them to the Super Bowl. You know, he kept him though, did he? What'd you say? Yeah, he knew
You think he was gonna trade Gronk and lose Brady?
Hey man,
You gonna trade Gronk and lose Brady?
I told you like they was gonna need Gronk.
I'm not arguing that they wasn't gonna need him. But my thing is, you gonna trade Gronk to lose Brady? Come on.
No.
All right, then.
But like I
But
said,
did Gronk have a great year this year?
it was an off year.
Huh?
It was an off year.
Do Bill look like he was a bad guy for wanting to trade him?
Let me ask you this: if the Patriots lose this Super Bowl, I mean, we was talking about Cooks, it would be the same result. So, like you was talking about how Cooks was, who's going to be not the success story if they lose this year?
We gonna look at it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You want to be honest?
who?
We gonna look at Gronk. We gonna look at Gronk.
Gronk.
We gonna look at
But
Gronk.
what if he comes to play?
If he comes to play and they win,
No, and they lose.
If he comes to play and they lose, we lost.
Because I mean, you can look at. I mean,
We lost.
You can look at. You can look at.
Hold on. When we was watching the Super Bowl last year, what you say about Brandon Cooks?
What?
When he
Did he get hurt?
Yeah. What you say about?
He got knocked.
But what did you say when he did that play? How dumb are you? Just go down.
Oh yeah. it was
Just go
stupid.
down.
It was
Right.
stupid.
Stupid. You say.
But I've also seen Edelman miss catches to close out games for y'all.
You sure that wasn't Welker and not Edelman?
No, I've seen both. Edelman has missed the.
Come on.
What game was that? I'll go look and I'll send it to you in the chat ASAP, my brother.
Please.
But
do.
he's definitely missed him and Welker. Edelman hasn't missed as many, but he's
You talking about in the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl or playoffs. Period. He's had a couple where he's missed. I might have been the Super Bowl.
That was Welker.
That was what hurt.
You talking about against the Giants? That was
No.
wide open.
I remember that.
No, I remember that.
Wide open.
Can't forget.
I remember that. Oh, it's been enough, and I'm gonna find you the one with Edelman. I'm gonna find you the one with Edelman. But they ain't trade him. How come they wouldn't let Cooks build up chemistry with Brady? I mean, it was one. That's what I'm saying. It's 1 year. What if they don't win the Super Bowl this year? You can't. Who not your deep threat this year? That's what I'm saying. Like, they ain't really give him a fair shake. If
Bro, we still got Philip Dorsett on our team over Brandon Cooks.
Who did they trade him for?
Who?
Cooks.
A first-round pick that landed us Sonny Michel.
Yeah, that's solid. It worked out for both teams. That's what I'm saying. Like, Cooks didn't go to being a bum. Like, after they, like, what did you say? What did Moss do after they? Exactly. Cooks ain't go back to being a bum. So, you know what I mean? But I'm going to get you that footage.
Please.
I'm gonna show you that.
I'm waiting on the footage.
Call it Butterfingers.
I'm waiting on the footage.
Yeah, man. Oh, what I did want to do was give a shout out, man. Today was Jackie Robinson's 100th birthday. So we about to start off Black History Month, right? And we got to do something, man. Like each show next month, we're going to have, we're going to spotlight a historic African-American player in one of the sports. We're going to do that.
Hold on, kind of double backing off of that. They got a Jackie Robinson story. They're doing one on basketball.
Yeah.
When he was in college, it's on NBA TV, so that's gonna be dope. That's coming out in a couple weeks.
Derrick Rose also has is it a documentary or is it
Like a
a
little mini series.
miniseries?
Yeah.
Okay. He's got that coming. All right, cool. So that's in April?
Yeah.
Called Pooh. Be on the lookout for that. Follow us, Instagram, Goodfellas Podcast. Goodfellas is going to be a 3 instead of an E. Goodfellas 87 at Twitter, and you'll like us on Facebook. Goodfellas Podcast. Y'all got anything else y'all want to add?
You want to go make your Super Bowl picks real quick?
Oh, pass.
They will. I got you.
I get it wrong the last 4 years. So I'm gonna say the
Pats.
Patriots.
All right, we got 4 Pats. Good.
So that's what I'm going with. So
Pass. Are the Lakers winning right now?
they were when I was just watching.
Let's get a Laker update before we leave, man.
They are up 3, 62-59.
See? Ooh, 60.
Oh, 73-65.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, we got LeBron on the Trip Dub watch. Miss Trip
Miss
Dub.
Trip Dub.
Miss Trip Dub in the building.
Everybody hooping too. I like to see. That's what I like to see. All right, AD, you're on the clock. So if that's all we got, man, y'all got any shout outs? Stay warm out there, man.
Shut up my bed.
Yesterday was the coldest day in the history of Chicago. I think it felt, what they say, it felt like below 50. If it feels like below 50, why don't they just say it's,
It was below 50.
jeez.
My car was coughing when I tried to start it.
So,
So, yeah.
yeah, we all got the Patriots. Hey, shout out Atlanta. I'll be there Super Bowl weekend. My flight is in the morning.
What a plug.
I will be repping Goodfellas all while I'm down there. All right. Stay tuned. That's it, man. Until next time, next week. Let us know if y'all got anything y'all want us to touch on for next week's show. Until then, love, live life. We'll holler at y'all next week.